Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So I set up the tripod, and as long as the dogs don't move, we'll be good. So hi, welcome back if you guys are not new here, and for everyone that is new, my name is Rose, and on this channel we are doing something new. I'm doing a series regarding the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. I am starting to read Crescent City 1. I have 2 and 3, of course, with the third one just coming out. I have read ACOTAR, and I have read Throne of Glass series as well. I'm rereading ACOTAR with a good friend of mine, so while I wait for her to catch up, I figured a great way to break and divide up the time would be to go ahead and start Crescent City. So my last video, I had talked to whoever's watching this, stating that I was going to go ahead and start Crescent City, and every 5 or so chapters, I was going to create a video, kind of like a vlog, and discuss what those chapters were about, what characters we got to meet, possibly, see the dogs are moving, possibly get some background information on those characters as well. Go over, again, a review of the chapters that I read, what had happened, and what I think will happen next, or, you know, along those lines. So, I went ahead and wrote down some quick notes just to go ahead and help me stay focused and on some kind of a line, so this way here I don't confuse the shit out of everybody else, including myself, and get lost. So, that's what we're going to go ahead and talk about today. So I read chapters 1 through 6. I couldn't stop at chapter 5, and I'll get into that in a little bit. So if you have yet to read Crescent City, or if you have read Crescent City, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. And if you are new here, hi and welcome. This is a safe space. I love everyone's opinions, so please share your opinions with me. If I am completely off base on a theory, or if I mispronounce someone's name, I apologize first and foremost now. However, again, leave comments. I'd love to get some kind of interaction with the people that are also taking this journey with me. So if you've not read Crescent City and you're going to pick it up, or you're going to start reading, read along with me. Kind of be like a book club where we can discuss things. So if you are new here, hi, my name is Rose. Again, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel for the first time. And without further ado, let's get into this so this video isn't so long. So, first book, Crescent City. Again, I am at chapter 7. Yep. I read between actual books, and then I also read on my Kindle. The only thing that I like about my Kindle versus reading an actual book is because I can highlight and make notes as I go. I am not a person that will make annotations in a book. I don't know. I can't. So, for any of you that aren't aware, they actually have these highlighter stickers for books. I found mine on Amazon, but they unstick. You can see your words through them, and then, you know, it'll keep your pages free of marks if you are a person like me. My dust jacket is off. I do have it. I am recovering it so that it can't get damaged. But yes, so that's why my cover's off. So, without further ado, the review of the first 6 chapters of this book. So, as I go through this, again, any questions that you have, please leave down in the comments. I will try my best to answer them, or if I don't have any answers, then maybe as we read, we can go ahead and come up with the answers to those questions. We can address them then at that time. Any theories that you guys have, as long as it's not spoilers. I don't want any spoilers in my comments, please. Like, I want to read this for the first time, and I do have 2 spoilers that I know of, only because I didn't realize what I was watching. But it's fine because it's not gonna mess up anything in the book for me. So anyway, so no spoilers in the comments, please. We'd all really appreciate that, especially if we love reading a book from start to finish without knowing what is gonna happen, so that we can have those big mind-blowing aha moments like I had in these first 6 chapters. So yeah, so let's get into this. So the first thing that I wrote down is the main characters that we were introduced to so far. And as I bring up these characters, I am going to try to insert a photo, if I could find one, on fan art, whether it's from Pinterest or it is from Instagram. They are not photos done by me. I did keep the artist's name or their insignia on the photo for copyright reasons. I don't need anybody getting mad at me that I'm trying to steal their art. I'm not. It just happened that I could have liked their art, and the person that they depicted kind of went along with what I was mentally seeing as I was reading these first chapters, okay? So the first person, one of our main characters, of course, is Bryce. She is a fair-skinned redhead, so I automatically think like a Scottish woman, though she is half human and half fae. She has very minimal to no magic. She works at an antique shop called Griffin Antiques, and she is adopted. So we don't have too much history on her to find out who her parents are, at least so far. Do know that her dad, he was the fae in the relationship. Her mom is human, or was human, per some kind of a genealogical testing, and she got her citizenship by her dad. So it's very vague, and I'm hoping that Sarah will give us some more in-depth information as we get along to find out what and who she is. So there's my first, like, I need more on Bryce. The second person right off the bat was Danica. So she is the leader of the Pack of Devils. It's a wolf pack or a shifter pack. And from what I've read so far, she is the most powerful shifter that they've seen in centuries. So that's pretty cool. We'll get into her in a minute. The next person that we also met was Jessica, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that wrong. Apologies if I'm not. But she's supposed to be a 400-year-old witch who answers to the Underking. So we haven't met the Underking yet, but I'm hoping eventually, whenever we come into Realm or what part of the city he may be at, we'll get some more information on him. So he's a character that I am looking to possibly be introduced to later on. Kind of like Hayburn, you know what I mean? We knew that he was there, but we didn't get to meet him until further into the ACOTAR series. So no spoilers there either, in case my friend's watching, because I've got to be careful. Anyway, the next person that we met was Lehaba. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her name right. I started calling her Lee just because it was easier for my brain to not try to keep trying to figure out how to pronounce her name. But she, as far as I got so far, she's a fire spirit. So she's literally fire. So, yeah, when I think of her, I think of like elementals from the Disney movie, or even that newest Disney movie, which I can't think of, with the fire and the water. But like, that's how I pictured her, but obviously not in a kid version. So I did find some really great photos of her, and I loved that I could get some kind of an aesthetically pleasing photo instead of, you know, a kid photo from Disney. The next person that we also met was Sabine. Sabine I know I'm totally messing up that name. But she was the chief among the shifters, the prime. And her daughter is actually Danica. And Danica is more powerful than her mother, that's just crazy. And probably we'll get into that theory in a moment. The other thing too that was really key that I picked up from this character was she absolutely 100% hates Bryce. And Bryce and Danica have been like soul sisters since college. So there was something else there. Another person that we met was Connor. He is the beta to the Pack of Devils with Danica, so he's the second in command. He's completely in love with Bryce, and we didn't get to meet all of the pack, but there was a mention of a Natalie, and she's third in command. But other than that, from what I remember, nothing else. There was talk or mention of Micah, which is the Archangel of Crescent City, though we haven't really met him officially. He was mentioned, kind of like the Underking. The other prime person that they kept mentioning was Philip Briggs. He's somebody that went to jail for trying to blow up a nightclub, and he just got released from jail during these chapters because they couldn't hold him due to lack of evidence or some shady fucking cops. So we'll find out more on him too as we read. Next person was Bryce's boyfriend at the time, was Reed. He was human and supposedly rich, handsome, however, sucked in bed. That's the reason why she dumped him. So that's just funny. And then we also had a mention of Juniper. I don't remember getting any background on her when Bryce was talking to her or trying. She didn't give you any background, actually. Pictures of her show her kind of like a fawn, like she's got some kind of deer horns growing, but if she's a fawn, I'm not really sure. So again, hoping I can get a little bit more backstory and find out what kind of a creature she is, because that would be kind of cool. The other person that we met was Fury. Fury is depicted as this, for some reason, they depicted her in all of the fan art that I could find as an Asian person who's an assassin. Like she's some kind of a badass, kick-ass girl, and I need to know more about her because she sounds pretty awesome. We got to meet Isaiah. He's part of the police. He's also an archangel, and he's the commander and answers to Micah. And then we have Hunt, which I know is another one of our main characters. He's also an angel. He doesn't answer to Isaiah, even though Isaiah is the commander. He answers directly to Micah as well. So that power battle thing that's going on between those two, if there is one, I'm not sure. Though I'm hoping we get a little bit more interaction between them just so that I can get like my theories straight on there. The one thing they said about him though was that he harnesses like lightning, and he's the first of his kind to do that, so I thought that was pretty intriguing. And they kept mentioning that all of the archangels had like this tattoo or brand of like a thorny crown, and that was tattooed by Micah as a reminder because they were rebels. So that's pretty interesting. They were rebels. They're now under some kind of enslavement with Micah and have to do his dirty work. Like, that's really shitty, and I don't know how great that's gonna last. Though I don't have any kind of a understanding on how the enslavement works, because I know it's a spell or something that's been cast upon them to hold them. Interesting. Anyway, we also had mention of the Astri, which I think is it's not a particular person. It's kind of a group of people. Don't know much about them other than they are the rulers of the Republic, and that is who the angels are sworn to. If I read that correctly. Could totally be completely off base, but that's how I took it or interpreted it when I was reading. And then we have 2 more people that we met. And this is all within 6 chapters. Like, we also met Victoria. So Victoria is also part of the, like, a police department with Isaiah and Hunt. She's a wraith. And when I think of a wraith, I think of someone that can blend into shadows. But what it's saying for her is that she's kind of like a skinwalker. And she is currently trapped in this body that she inhabited over 200 years ago. And she's stuck in there or trapped in there by Micah as punishment for being in the rebellion as well. So I'm hoping we get more about this whole rebellion thing, which I'm pretty sure we will, but I'm intrigued to find out more about that and like what took place, to know that the people of the rebellion, I guess depending if the ash tree thought they were essential, enslaved them and now have control over basically their lives and powers to do their bidding with the Republic. It's again, 6 chapters in, there's a lot going on automatically. And the internet is completely obsessed and blown up over Rune Dannon. Like, his pictures are amazing. So he is the prince of the Valbaran Fae and the son of the Autumn King. So the Autumn King, if they're speaking of the same one, would be the High Fae of Autumn from ACOTAR. And I'm just trying to picture, like, really? Like, Lucian is related to Rune? I don't know, but we'll see. Whatever. It's, you know, it's there. That's how they mentioned it, that he was the son of the Autumn King. So, yeah. So, the only 2 pictures that I could not find of people to kind of help me was of Victoria. So I'm hoping eventually somebody will create something for her so that I can have some kind of a face to her picture. Or maybe she's not essential enough to have a picture. I don't know. That could be it. So I hope you guys like the photos that I've attached in here. And now, so a couple of things that we learned so far in the first 6 chapters was Jessica is a witch / enchantress / necromancer. She's more powerful than all of those, which is crazy. But she gave Bryce a necklace, which is of 3 circles, and it gives her protection. So when I think of the 3 circles of this necklace, I think of like a triquetra, and I'm not sure if that's exactly how it's supposed to be depicted, but that's the way that I'm interpreting it. So during the book, we get a sense of Bryce is in her place of business. She's in the antique shop. Danica comes waltzing in and is dropping off gear to shove into a storage closet. Jessica and Lee get pissed off that she's even there because they don't want the wolf inside of the house. And they also don't feel like housing her stinky shit that she's leaving there. So there was that, though Danica could care less and left it anyway. Bryce and Danica are roommates. So we get to meet the wolf pack, like, all jammed inside of this apartment, and Bryce is getting ready for a date with Reed. Reed shows up 45 minutes late, could care less about Bryce sitting there, and is constantly on his phone. So she's like, yeah, handsome and rich isn't gonna do it. Especially when the sex sucks. So she was like, fuck you, I'm out. Basically. And I loved it, and he was completely flabbergasted. Um, and you know, we have such a great world building that, like, when Danica and Bryce were walking through, um I'm gonna say Luna Theon, and I think I'm mispronouncing the name. um but there in Crescent City, they talk about like these 7 gates that interconnect per the ley lines. um and the gates all run through the city. And they depict that these gates are like crystals, like these huge crystal gates. And when the sun like reflects through them, it's like a kaleidoscope of rainbow everywhere. And I was just thinking, it's probably, one, gorgeous, and two, the one complaint that I've read from people is that they couldn't get engrossed in the story because trying to visualize the setting was hard. So when I was reading this, I was thinking of Rome, though I've never been there. I would love to go there. But I was just thinking about, like, the Colosseum is there, and it may be in ruins. However, the city and the modernness of the city has grown up around it, but it's keeping the culture of the city there in the heart of the city, right? And all the temples that are still around, you know, those are still there for people to go and see, or tourists to go and visit. So when I was reading the part of like the lay of the land and these gates and everything, and the tourists flocking to see certain things, the way that I envisioned the town being is kind of like Rome, right? So Colosseum, and then the modern world growing up around it, but keeping that culture there. So for anybody that's having trouble getting into the world concept of it, I don't know if visualizing it that way may help you understand it, but that's just my opinion. So the continent that they're on is Pangaea. I have no idea how the frig to pronounce it. But yes. So the one place that it seems like all of the girls like to go is, so it was Fury, and it was Juniper and Danica and Bryce like to go to a nightclub called the Raven, which was the nightclub that Philip Spriggs was trying to blow up. And Danica caught him and put him in jail, but now he's been released. So Bryce goes back to the nightclub to dance and just shed off all of the BS from the date. And they kept talking about like making the drop. Bryce and Danica are going to make the drop together. So the drop is kind of like settling with Akatar, not with Akatar, that's Throne of Glass, where they become immortal, right? They strip their human aging process and become true immortals and embrace whatever then powers are at their that happen at their immortality. So I'm hoping, my theory is once Bryce does the drop is when she's going to come into her power, kind of like the power is sealed shut so that any kind of testing or genealogical stuff that they've done for her, it's not gonna recognize anything because it's so suppressed because she's got to do the drop. That's just a theory. Don't know if I'm true, but that's what we're going with. Also, if you have a problem with drugs or drug abuse, it's very heavy in the first 6 chapters. So, yeah, just a disclosure. So during all this time, while she's in this club dancing, getting high, and completely shit-faced, there's this demon that somehow got summoned into the city. Yeah, and it's this huge, grotesque, kind of humanoid, grayish, almost translucent skin with crystalline fangs. I haven't looked for a picture. I'm pretty sure there's probably something out there that'll make us all go, oh, good Lord, have mercy. And yeah, no, I think I'd probably run and scream like most of these people. Maybe not. It all depends on what it's attacking. But anyway, so it's said that this demon has no eyes. So I'm going to guess that it relays currently on sense of smell, maybe sense of taste, if it can taste the air kind of like a snake, not sure. But what happens? So chapter 5, Bryce is coming home, and when she gets home, she's talking about how bad like the building smells, and it's very rancid and it's just disgusting, and her feet are constantly hurting, so she's complaining about her feet and walking up the flight of stairs and how she wishes she could just fall asleep. And she trips and falls right before her door and lands in what she didn't know was blood. She's completely high off of some kind of drug called light something. It's not coming to my brain. Danica was pissed that she was out doing these drugs without her. But this is when it blows up. This is why I couldn't just stop at chapter 5. So she goes to try to unlock the door with all of these keys that she has, and she's completely high and she can't remember what key is for what fucking lock on her door, and realizing that the door is basically crumbled to a pulp. It was an iron door that had a whole bunch of spells binding the door to stop intruders and things like that. So this demon was able to get through the spells somehow, and killed off the entire pack of devils. So the whole wolf pack is gone. Connor, who was in love with Bryce and was begging for her to go on a date with him, he's completely gone. And Danica, the most powerful shifter that they've seen, again, she didn't make her drop. So I don't know if maybe if she was going to be more powerful, she would have survived or been able to fight off this demon attacker. But unfortunately, she was killed as well. So I was like, holy fucking shit. Like, there's no way I can stop at chapter 5. Like, what the hell's gonna happen? And it's not depicted too gory, so that was nice. But basically, Bryce hears this creature escaping and goes after her, or goes after it. She follows all the people screaming and like running out of the way, only to find that the creature has found another archangel and is like trying to rip its chest cavity open and like eat him. So Bryce has some formal training for fighting and tries to take the demon on. Ends up getting badly cut, which is weird because she's still wearing her amulet, but okay. I mean, if the demon didn't have any problems getting through the spells on the door, I'm gonna guess that the amulet can't protect her 100%. But she's trying to save this angel. She calls the police to try to come, send help, send a healer, anything. And in chapter 6, we have that she's in complete shock. She's sitting in the police station, in, one of the questioning rooms with the whole double-sided mirror, straight out of like CIS or CSI, CIS. Holy Christmas, it's way too late. And, this is when we get to see Isaiah is talking to Hunt about what occurred. Um, Danica's mom comes waltzing in, and basically, since she hates Bryce, is completely against the girl, wants her dead, wants to question her, and, like, just fucking throw her into jail, even though she wasn't the cause of her daughter's death. But as a grieving parent, I get she's got to blame it on somebody since they haven't found the demon. Hunt went and tried to trace the demon, couldn't find any traces whatsoever. And either the demon was smart or the summoner was smart, because the demon was also not captured on any kind of surveillance that was concrete to see what it was. They had glimpses or blurred images, but nothing concrete. So that by itself was kind of interesting. It knew how to get around all the cameras in the city. So that got me thinking, well, then it's got to be either somebody within the justice system would have to know the location of the cameras in order to get around those. So that's a theory. But Victoria comes in and is starting to try to question Bryce and try to open her up and get some information. She's not a prime suspect or anything, but Victoria at this moment really pissed me off because she just seems like a heartless bitch. They had some kind of a sound recording from the tapes inside of the apartment building, but the video was not available. Like, the video itself was down. But you could hear, like, the wolf pack getting shredded, and you could hear Connor and Danica, like, pleading and screaming, and just the amount of pain that's depicted that Bryce is now hearing for the first time, even in her haze of still being high, sets her off, and she flips the table in complete rage and throws chairs, and it's like a tornado storm of emotions that she's now raging against. Hunt comes in and yells at Victoria and basically tells her to stop the fucking tape because it's just cruel. Like, she's still in shock. She just lost her best friend, like a soul sister, and, like, that's just a little bit heartless. Actually, it's really fucking heartless. So, yeah. So that's kind of where we left off. So, Bryce does have some kind of a 3-day tracker in her that she's not aware of because she drank some kind of water that had the tracker in it. So they can at least see her whereabouts to kind of keep an eye on her, but not keep an eye on her, I don't believe. Well, you know what? I don't know why. Either to keep an eye on her to make sure that she doesn't have a grudge against anybody and resummon something, or just to make sure that whatever was summoned, if it was coming after her, doesn't come after her now, so they can keep a better eye on her. Hunt then asks the question, what's going to happen after the 3 days? And it's kind of like a we'll find out. They did want to keep Bryce inside the police station for once the shock settled for additional questioning. However, her cousin, Rune, was like, you're going to let her the fuck out. Like, now. No questions asked. Like, she's ours. She's not yours to hold. She's more fae than human, so fuck off. So they had to release her. And they released her prior to Rune making his grand appearance in the police station, and is very pissed off that they let her leave without him being there to help guide her. So he's running out to go catch up to her. And that's where we left at chapter fucking 6. Like, we're 88 pages in. Chapter 6. All of that. Chapter 6. 35-minute video to go over who the fuck we met, go over some background, and the main story. Like, that was a lot in just 6 chapters. So the only the only things that I have written down as far as theory-wise goes is maybe that if the demon was summoned and went right for the apartment, thinking probably Bryce was there, though I don't know if it was after Bryce. maybe Briggs was the one that summoned it. They did catch him and put him back in jail, thinking he was a prime suspect, because the Wolfpack was the one that put him in jail for the bomb, and he was just let out of jail and is now back in jail. So, though I don't know that it was Briggs that would have paid someone to summon this demon to go and kill the Wolfpack, only because that seems so ordinary. Like, of course that's what they would do. Of course that's what he would do. We're talking about Sarah J. Maas here. With ACOTAR and Throne of Glass in my whole wheelhouse up here, there is nothing typical by how she writes. So for me, I am completely throwing that theory out. There's no way that it is that simplified that Briggs, right after he got out of jail, went over to some fucking high witch, enchantress, whatever, to summon this weird translucent demon to go and kill the Wolfpack. Like, no. The theory that I came up with was, well, Reed is rich, and seems like he could be a little dick, and is pissed off that Bryce ended it before he was ready. Why couldn't he have paid somebody to summon this demon? He seems to be high up there. I don't know exactly where he stands in with all the people, or where his family, where the money comes from, all that, but why couldn't Reed be the one that summoned it, and was hoping that Bryce would have went home, not to go get high and go to the fucking nightclub, but went home and the demon wasn't there. And when Bryce did get there, the only thing I could think of, if it was summoned for her, it didn't come after her, it ran away. But maybe it ran away because of her amulet of protection. And like, even when she was fighting it off, it seemed like when she attacked it, it got kind of pissed, but it went right back for the angel. Almost like some kind of a ghost hit me. The ghost being Bryce. And the demon didn't know where the fuck it came from and went back to its victim. Until she really pissed it off. And then it finally recognized, oh, there is something there. So I don't know if the amulet has that much protection. Like, I really don't know. Yeah, we're only 6 chapters in, y'all. So that's what I've got so far. Crazy roller coaster, like everything else. For those that are watching this that couldn't get into Crescent City, I feel sorry for you. I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't understand how it could be boring when this is only 6 chapters in and you got hit with such a huge... Like, I was thinking Danica was going to be this prominent force throughout the series, and she's fucking dead already. Like, and I thought Connor was going to be some kind of a... Not a mate or anything for Bryce, because, you know, they're fae, so it's the whole mate thing. It's not just husband-wife sort of thing. But they had such an alluring attraction that I really wanted to see how that was going to enhance, regardless that Bryce kept pushing him off before she finally just said anything could be better than Reed, you know. But I don't understand the people that give up on a book when they've only read like 10 or 20 pages. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, again, please comment with anything, questions, theories, no spoilers. Leave those down below. If you want to stay tuned to the series and follow along with me or read along with me, it would be my pleasure. That would be amazing. Then please like and subscribe. I hope you like the pictures that I found, and if you guys have any other photos that you want to share or anything like that, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. I think those links are still under my About Me page, or About Me section on my page. But yes, it's been a pleasure. I can't wait to jump into more chapters, so hopefully in the next couple of days. this video took me a while to do, only because I didn't want to like, the day after my first video, I read 4 out of the 5 chapters, and I was like, I can't do a video in a day and a half. Like, seriously, we need, not everybody reads that fast. So we'll see how long it takes for the second video to come out, but I'm thinking we're on chapter 7. So either I'll read to chapter 10 or to chapter 11, depending on where it hits. And again, if there's some kind of big, colossal, like, chapter 5 ended with the whole Wolfpack ending, I was like, yeah, no, this isn't happening. Please tell me, honestly, I was like, please tell me she's fucking hallucinating with all the drugs that she's on, between mixing a whole bunch of different drugs and then also being completely drunk. I was really hoping that she was having one hell of a fucked up hallucination / dream, and she was going to wake up. And then it was like, oh no, this is reality. And I was like, oh fuck. Yeah, no, I really need to read. So anyway, so stay tuned. And I will see you all in a couple of days. So today's Monday, the February 5th. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe by Wednesday or this upcoming Friday or Saturday, I'll post the next video to the series. So, but if there's anything also that you want me to include in this series, please also leave that in the comments too. I'm going to take all of that into consideration. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Again, thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and we will see you, well, there's no we. I will see you again shortly. Again, have a great night. Bye.